Hello everyone. The next form of Vakrata that we are going to see is Pada-pūrvārtha-vakrata. Pada-pūrvārtha-vakrata is the deviant utterance at the level of words. This has got 9 varieties, namely rūḍhi-vaicitrya-vakratā, paryāya-vakratā, visheshana-vakratā, samvrudhi-vakrata, vruḍhi-vakrata, bhava-vakrata, linga-vaicitrya-vakratā, and finally paryāya-vakratā. Let's take a look at all these forms of vakroktis in detail. The first category under Pada-pūrvārtha-vakrata that we are going to see is rūḍhi-vaicitrya-vakratā. Rūḍhi-vaicitrya-vakratā. Rūḍhi-vaicitrya-vakratā is the use of the word in such a way that it abandons its primary meaning and expresses a new meaning which is not conventionally associated with it. Kundaka says, when common denotation of words is seen to expand to include connotation of even impossible attributes imagined by the poet, it is called rūḍhi-vaicitrya-vakratā. This has got 2 varieties. In the first type, the word signifies a new meaning that is not otherwise possible for that word to signify. Here, the word completely abandons its primary meaning while denoting the meaning. In the second variety, the existing word shows a hyperbolic excess of the existing meaning. Here, the primary meaning of the word is retained, but the word includes a hyperbolic excess of the existing meaning. Let's take a look at the first variety, where a word abandons its primary meaning in the given context and then denotes a new meaning that is not otherwise possible for that word to signify. The following is an example of the first variety. Virtues bloom when appreciated by connoisseurs of art. When blessed by the rays of the sun, a lotus becomes a lotus. These words, taken from Anandavardhana's Vishamabana Leela, refers to the unique point at which a kavya attains perfection. The speaker says that just as a lotus reaches the pinnacle of its beauty when the sun showers its rays upon it, so also poetic qualities shine forth when they are appreciated by a connoisseur of art or sahridaya. In the given example, the vakrata is in the word lotus or kamala in its second occurrence. The word lotus is conventionally used to refer to a tropical flower with white or pink petals which grows on the surface of the lakes. In the above mentioned example, if we follow the conventional meaning of the word lotus, the line "a lotus becomes a lotus" does not make any sense. Therefore, the term lotus leaves its conventional meaning to suggest another meaning, that is the actualization of all qualities that are supposed to be present in a lotus. In other words, the word lotus here means a state of perfection. Thus, this line comes to mean that it is only when graced by the rays of the sun that a lotus reaches a state of perfection. Now, let's take a look at the second variety, where the hyperbolic excess of the existing meaning is superimposed upon the denotative meaning of the word. The following is an example of this variety that Kundaka cites. Then the son of the earthly lord laughed aloud without any trace of fear, and again said to the Lord of heaven, "Take up your missile, if this be your handiwork. You cannot lay claims to success until you have conquered Rekhu." Here, the word Rekhu is of particular importance. We know that Rekhu is Rama, the son of Dasharatha, but in this context, the word Rekhu is not simply standing for Rama. It also means the ultimate epitome of success. Here it means that if you want to lay claims to success, you need to conquer Rekhu, the ultimate embodiment of success and valor. The primary meaning of the word is retained here, but along with the primary meaning, there exists the hyperbolic excess of the existing meaning. Kundaka says, the word Raghu here suggests a unique excess of valor in the context of the discomfiture of even the Lord of Heaven, whose prowess was still then unchallenged everywhere. Let's take a look at one more example. Look at these words taken from Bala Ramayana. His order loves to dwell on the crest jewel of Indra. The various branches of learning mastered by him serve as his additional eye. He has devotion to Lord Shiva, who wields the bow called Pinaka. His capital is the divine city of Lanka. His birth is in the house of Lord Brahma. Forsooth, such a bridegroom as this can never be found everywhere. But oh, if only he were not Ravana, where indeed do you have a combination of all virtues. We know that the primary meaning of the word Ravana is the king of Lanka. But here, the word Ravana does not signify just the king of Lanka, it also means the pinnacle of disqualification. In this context, the primary meaning of the word is retained, but going a step further, a new hyperbolic meaning is superimposed on it. Kundaka's words merit attention here. The word Ravana here suggests a unique disqualification which is enough to rule him out of consideration as an ideal bridegroom for a woman like Sita. Although he owns all the merits that can otherwise be considered qualifications to become a bridegroom for Sita, but just because these qualifications are found in Ravana, the embodiment of all kinds of vices, they lose their merit. I hope these two varieties of rūḍhi-vaicitrya-vakratā are very clear to you. Now, let's talk about the second variety of Pada-pūrvārtha-vakrata, which is paryāya-vakratā. Paryāya-vakratā. Paryāya-vakratā is that kind of vakrata where the poet chooses the most suitable synonym or epithet from a wide variety of synonyms or epithets for a word to enhance the beauty of the poetic utterance. According to Kundaka, paryāya-vakratā has 6 varieties, namely abhitheyantaratama-vakratā, abhitheyadishaya-peshala-vakratā, abhitheyalankarana-samartha-vakratā, swechayolkarsha-peshala-vakratā, asambhavyartha-patratva-garbham, alangaropaskara-manohari-nibandhana-vakratā. In abhitheyantaratama-vakratā, the poet uses the most suitable synonym that suits the context. Here, although other synonyms for that particular word exist, only one among these various synonyms can really achieve the closest approximation with the shade of the meaning that is sought to be conveyed. For example, look at the following verse. I would not like to fight with you for nothing, and what regard do the arrows of hermits deserve? I have other arrows of mine in my mountain store, and they form the wealth of the thunder-wielding god's prowess. According to Kundaka, here the word Vajranaha or the thunder-wielding god is of particular significance. The word Vajranaha is the synonym of the god of heaven Indra, who has the thunderbolt as his weapon. Here, Vajranaha means the one who wields the thunderbolt. According to Kundaka, although 100 synonyms are possible to denote Indra, the word Vajranaha is the most suitable synonym in this situation, where Arjuna is speaking to the hunter about the wealth of arrows he has. Here, in a situation where Arjuna is talking about the prowess of his arrows that he has inherited from Indra, the word Vajranaha shows the prowess of Indra himself as a warrior. Now, the second variety we are going to see is Abhideyadishaya-peshala-vakrata. Kundaka says that even if the subject under consideration is beautiful in itself, the use of appropriate synonyms in the given context will further enhance the beauty of the subject. Kundaka says, an object may be endowed with natural grace and beauty, yet when it is qualified by an apt synonym, it will become most appealing to men of taste. Kundaka gives the following example to demonstrate this variety of paryāya-vakratā. Look at the moon rising yonder, O lovely maid. He is a kinsman of Raghu kings. He is a professional teacher in the art of love. He is celebrated as a standard of companion to the face of a spotless white complexioned lady. His luster is white like that of the teeth of a South Indian belly, just washed. He is the crest jewel of the Lord of Chandi. These words, taken from the Bala Ramayana, are spoken by Rama to Sita. According to Kundaka, the moon, no doubt, is naturally endowed with abundance of beauty. But the synonyms or the epithets used by the poet to describe the moon, such as the kinsman of Raghu kings, the professional teacher in the art of love, etc., add to the charm of the moon further, thereby winning the heart of the critics. The next variety under paryāya-vakratā is Abhideyālankarana-samartha-vakratā. Sometimes when we use the synonym of a word, the chosen synonym will create equivocation and add to the beauty of the poetic utterance. It is called Abhideyālankarana-samartha-vakratā. The following is an example of Abhideyālankarana-samartha that Kundaka cites to illustrate this particular variety. In such an insensitive world, who else is there with ears so large and hands so long to deserve my musical plea? So thinking did the bee approach him, but the elephant at once blotted him out. After all, is he not a matanga? What more need we say? Here, the description is about a bee who came to a matanga, which is a synonym for an elephant. The bee went to a matanga, thinking that the latter would enjoy his music. But matanga, who did not have any aesthetic bent of mind, killed him. Here, the word matanga also means barbarian, the one who does not have any cultural sophistication. The equivocation that arises out of the choice of the synonym matanga adds beauty to the poetic utterance. The elephant could not enjoy the music of the bee because he is a matanga or barbarian. The next variety is Swechayolkarsha-peshala. In this variety, the invention of an epithet to refer to something or someone will add to the beauty of the poetic utterance. Kundaka explains this further in the following words. Though a subject on hand is usually regarded as adding beauty to another, the presentation of the subject with the help of a newly invented epithet itself may be so striking that it invites the reader's attention towards it. The following is an example of this variety. The sorrow of separation from my beloved is thus agitating me, rising high, along with the rays of this kinsman of five-arrowed Cupid, or Vishama Kudumbaha, rays which are long and lambent and causing the waves of the ocean to give a performance of classical dance. Here, the word Vishamabana Kudumba is a new coinage. It means the kinsman of the five-arrowed Cupid, and it is used to denote the moon. Seeing the moon rising high in the sky, a lover who is suffering from love in separation becomes all the more agitated. The moon is compared to a kinsman of Cupid because his very sight remains the lover of his love for his beloved. It seems that the moon is having the same impact that the Cupid can have on a lover. Kundaka's observation in this respect is worth quoting. Kundaka says, in the above instance, the synonym kinsman of the five-arrowed Cupid has been coined by the poet to signify the moon. This fits in the mouth of a lover with a heart full of longing due to separation from his beloved. Though it is an unfamiliar or new coinage, it has been made to appear most appropriate in the context by the poet. Because it is an original hit, it at once strikes the readers as charming. The next variety under paryāya-vakratā is called asambhavyartha-patratva-garbham. In asambhavyartha-patratva-garbham, an action that is less likely to happen with respect to a thing that is being described is attributed to that thing. The following is an example of asambhavyartha-patratva-garbham that Kundaka cites in Vakrokti Jivita. Your effort is wasted, O ruler of the earth, or Mahipala. Even were it discharged at me, your missile would be in vain. Though the storm's speed might be strong enough to uproot a tree, it would fail to shake a rocky hill. This verse is taken from Kalidasa's Raghuvamsha. Here, the king Raghu was unable to save the cow which he was supposed to save. Seeing this, Nandini says these words to Raghu. According to Kundaka, the word Mahipala contains asambhavyartha-patratva-garbham. The word Mahipala means the ruler of the earth. The word Mahipala signifies or denotes a person who is capable of protecting the whole earth. But here, the king is not even able to protect a cow. The inability to protect an animal is less likely to be found in a Mahipala, the ruler of the earth. But this inability is ascribed to a king. So, this is an example of asambhavyartha-patratva-garbham. Kundaka notes, the synonym ruler of the earth used here for the king is significant. It emphasizes that he possesses the might to protect the entire earth, and at the same time brings out forcefully by contrast his inability to protect even an animal, his preceptor's cow, which deserves to be saved by him by all means. The next variety of paryāya-vakratā is alankaropaskara manohari nibandhana-vakratā. In this variety, a sentiment is embellished with figurative elements like utpreksha or poetic fancy. The following is an example of alankaropaskara manohari nibandhana-vakratā. O queen, see how the lotuses are suddenly turning pale, conquered as they are by your face lotus, which puts to shame even the beauty of the moon. It's a non-fact that the lotus fades in the evening, but here the poet says that the lotus flowers paled and faded because it was shamed by the beauty of his beloved's face. In this context, the poetic fancy or utpreksha is used to describe the beauty of the lady's face. Kundaka observes, in this example, there is a natural phenomenon of the lotuses fading at the time of the evening. It is fancied by the gallant hero wooing his beloved to be the result of the defeat suffered by them while being compared with the beloved's face in point of beauty. And the poetic fancy is suggestively conveyed. In fact, this is exceedingly effective, for any and every lotus could be supposed to be outshone by the beauty of the moon. But on the other hand, your face lotus, which has positively outshone the moon, has certainly defeated the lotus. Hence, they appear to be losing